What's up guys, Bella's back here. Obviously this is not my normal setup. I'm in my home in California, and as you can see I have my little Michigan Ross flag back there. This is like my high school bedroom, and it's very weird and surreal to be back home, especially in the middle of March. But you know, obviously we're all dealing with COVID-19 and seeing how that plays out in our lives. I went to Europe a week and a half ago, so my mom is making me quarantine until the 2 weeks are up, because in case I brought something back. I don't have any symptoms, but obviously it sucks, but I have to do my duty as a good citizen and stay in my room for the next week. And so with that, you know, I've just been sitting in my room, not really doing anything, going on like classes, and I was looking at my YouTube channel and I just realized that I never made a freshman year in review video, a sophomore year in review video, just kind of talking about like all the things that I went through and how everyone can have their individual experiences. And I know I give a lot of advice on my channel, but I don't necessarily always talk about like the things that I've struggled with or gone through during the school year. So I thought it'd be kind of cool to break down like month by month what I did during that year. And what's helping me is I'm going through like my Snapchat memories, and all that kind of is helpful because I'm always like logging what I'm doing, how I'm feeling on there, like sending snap streaks and things. So I thought I would go through that. If this is something you guys are interested in, I will definitely do a like sophomore year in review next week, and then I will probably do like a junior year in review now that that is like weirdly kind of finishing off right now, which is just so weird. Also, sorry for the weird lighting in the back. I'm trying to figure out my lighting setup. But if this is something you guys are interested in, let me know. Give me a like, comment down below if there's any other questions that you have, things that you want me to talk about on this channel now that I have so much time because I'm home. And yeah, let's just get into the video. Starting off with August/September, because that was like move-in at freshman year. I remember moving out and packing and everything. It was super emotional. Almost all my friends had already left for school because Michigan just starts later. So I remember being really sad to leave, but like kind of ready because everyone was gone. So my family went and everything. We stayed at a hotel. We moved in. I met my roommate who I had met at orientation, but like we chose each other through Facebook. And her name is Rachel. She was great. She's from Grand Rapids. And our families got dinner at Jolly Pumpkin. It's a place downtown Ann Arbor, and they got to meet. It was really cute. My brother was being like a brat, but it was fine. It was just like he was being annoying, but I just remember that. And then Rachel and I went out for the first time that day when we moved in. I just remember going to like some random frat party, and then like Greenwood Block Party. If you go to Michigan, you know what Greenwood Block Party is. It's kind of iconic. And just kind of like experiencing like the wildness of college, because I mean, like I'd gone to a few, you know, high school parties, but it just was not to the level of like college. And I think just that first night I really got to see how big the world was, kind of. And that's kind of like how I describe all of like September, honestly. It was like I went out a bit. I was navigating my first days of class. At the same time, I decided to do Sorority Rush, which was happening the first week of school back when Sorority Rush was in the fall. And my roommate was doing that too, so it was nice to have someone to do that with. And I remember at the same time I was also rushing my business fraternity, and I did not know what the hell I was doing rushing that business fraternity. That was kind of before Sorority Rush, and I made it to the second round, but I didn't make it to I didn't get in. And honestly, I'm thankful for that because I got in the next semester, and it was just a great learning experience. I did not know what I was in for, and I met a lot of cool people at the same time. And so obviously with that, I went to my first football games. I was hanging out with my friend Priya from home in September, and that was all really great. I enjoyed Sorority Rush. I went into it really open-minded. My mom was in a sorority at Berkeley when she went, and so like I knew a little bit about it. I was not for sure set on it, and I'm really glad I still joined it. I joined Delta Gamma. I'm still a part of it. It's a very chill sorority, and that's kind of like my vibe. I'm not really a Susie sorority. Like there are a bunch of sororities like that in Michigan, and I'm not like that, honestly. So that was great. That was all like September, honestly. Was just kind of getting acclimated with Sorority Rush. We had our Michigan State game. I just remember, yeah, it was a great time. College classes like weren't that hard for me in September, just because I was basically taking Calc, English, Spanish, a business class, and some intro to SI class that I already like knew I had to take to do a double major. And it was easy, and I was doing fine in school. Calc was a little bit harder, but you know, it was all fine. I had my first like day party in my sorority in October. That was kind of weird, and I think by that point also in October, like all the fun stuff of joining the sorority had kind of like happened, and I wasn't feeling as, I still was having fun, but I really missed my family, and so fall break came at a perfect time. It's usually like the second weekend of October. I went to New York and I saw Dear Evan Hansen with my mom. My aunt lives in New York, so we just stayed with her, and it was really nice to just see my mom. Like I'd never gone like 6 or 7 weeks without seeing her. So that was really great. And then I came back obviously, and we had that was our first date party. I became really good friends with my friend Annie, and that was obviously great. And honestly, like October, Halloween weekend, it was honestly just my first time like going out a lot, and I was finding the balance between being social and then like academically focused, but I still did pretty well in school. And at the same time, we had Big Little reveal, so my big Maddie, she's from Newport Beach, and she became my big. That was really fun. And then it was the beginning of November, and so in November, that was parents weekend, so my parents came out. I think Michigan, you know, gets the vibe of being like a work hard, play hard school, and it really is. But at the same time, like my parents love football, but like my mom doesn't like go out a lot, and my brother at that time was only like 7 years old, so it was very weird to be bringing my brother to a tailgate as a 7-year-old, but everyone loved him. He was wearing this like football outfit, and it was just so cute, like, but he was so scared, like in this frat basement, like with all the parents, but you can kind of see him like right there in his little like outfit. But yeah, it was cool taking them to that game and hanging out with them. The weather, I remember, was really sucky. And then I went to my first hockey game. Hockey is actually like my favorite sport to watch. You know, I like watching, or at least like live, because I like going to basketball games and I like going to football games obviously, but football takes a little bit longer, and hockey, I think it's just like I like going on a Friday night and like not going out and just being chill, getting dinner. My friend George and I from high school, he's in engineering, we would go and get dinner, and then at the dining hall like at South Quad, and then we just walked to Yost, and I don't know, that's just like, I have a lot of like sweet memories from doing that my freshman year. And then at the same time, it was November, so my birthday is November 12th. I celebrated my birthday party. It wasn't really a birthday party, honestly. I just had dinner with like high school friends and my roommates, and then a couple of my sorority friends, and then my friend Darian, who's also from my high school. And it was really cute. Like my roommate, she decorated my room with like all these balloons, and I just remember really enjoying November of that year. Oh, and then it was Thanksgiving break. Thanksgiving break, you know, I think I had never really gone 3 months without seeing my high school friends, and like I have a very tight high school friend group, so it was great seeing everyone. Something that I noticed that happened to me, which like doesn't really matter, but this happened, was I lost a lot of weight during the fall of my freshman year, and I think that gave me a lot of confidence, and it wasn't like a lot, but like I didn't gain any weight like a lot of people had, and I gained weight my senior year of high school, so I just felt a little more, I think, empowered because I lost a little bit of weight. But I think it was honestly because I just didn't like a lot of the food in the dining hall, and I just ate salads all the time, so I was being really healthy. And then we had our formal for our sorority. That was like fine. I remember it was like okay. It was my first winter. I remember experiencing that with my big winter coat. We went to a really fun Christmas party, me and a few sorority girls, and that was really fun. And then my big became president. I remember that, and like initiation and everything. And I went to my first basketball game, and it was against UCLA, and that was really cool because obviously I'm from California, so UCLA, obviously I was excited to see that, and it went into overtime and we won, so that was really cool. And then fast forward, it was like finals basically like 2 weeks after Thanksgiving break. It was my grandbig's birthday, so we celebrated that. I wore like a denim on denim outfit. I remember I really liked that. And then yeah, it was basically just me hanging out with my friends who were still there with finals, and then I was like praying that I did really well in calc, because like I had to study my ass off. I did really poorly on the first calc exam, so if you're like that, like don't worry. And then I did really well in the second one, I did pretty well in the third one, so then my grade ended up being perfectly fine. But I think like the first month of school I had trouble like getting acclimated to the academics or just like calculus. All the other classes went well, but calc was really hard for me. And then at that point, obviously I finished my semester well. I went home. It was literally the day I got home. It was my friend Tara's, like, I think 19th birthday, and so I came to her house, celebrated that, and then I got chocolate for tea with Gabe. He's my really good friend. He goes to USC, and we got chocolate for tea and like boba. And then I had my annual Christmas party at my home, and I always like just have like my friend group. It's called By Nine, all the 9 girls, and like they came over. We do a cookie bake-off thing. We bring cookies, and then like I make hot cocoa for everyone, watch a movie, and at the same time we do a gift exchange, and like I always make like dino chicken nuggets, and like it's really, really cute. And then after that, you know, like I had my first, like I went back, reunited with a bunch of high school kids. It's honestly like the only other time like I did this with people outside of my friend group, because like at that point you're still kind of hanging out with people from high school when you come home for break. So I hung out with them. I went to Earth Cafe with some of my siblings, and then I went to another Christmas party at my friend Sammy's place from my old elementary school. So it's kind of doing a lot of things still from like my childhood. And then like my cousins came to visit, which was really, really fun. And then I think it was just fast forward, it was like New Year's Eve, had a little New Year's Eve party. Honestly, it wasn't that fun, like I'm being honest. I think my favorite New Year's Eve that I've celebrated so far was like high school senior year, just because like everyone was there. But I got to see my grandparents, and that was great. And then I was back at school in January. And at that point, you know, I went out a little bit, but starting with my first semester of like 18 credits, basically it was like 17 and a half, and I knew that I wanted to do a degree in business in the School of Information, and I knew that at orientation. So by the time it was like January-ish, I started to get ready to apply into the School of Information, which the app is due in February. But for most people, they apply sophomore year because the program's only 2 years. But since I wanted to do the dual degree of School of Information and Ross in 4 years instead of 5 years, I applied as a freshman. Sorry if that was confusing, but I applied really, really early, so I did the program in SI across 3 years instead of 2. And so I was starting to get more serious about school for sure, and then I decided to re-rush my business fraternity because I like did all the sorority stuff first semester, but I really wanted to find my community within Ross. And so I rushed Delta Sigma Pi, my business fraternity. It's an all Ross, like Ross inclusive business fraternity, and this time like I knew what I was doing. The first time I literally met like 10 people and thought that was enough, even though there's a business fraternity full of 100 people of networking. And I learned how to network. I met like 70 brothers this time, and I just like loved obviously joining that. So then I was a pledge. I was pledging the entire semester, going to meetings all the time. It was a really like hard experience, like mentally, I think, just like with all the like quizzes and just memorizing things and like whatever, like that's how it is joining any business fraternity. It can be like just a lot of like workload, but at the same time it was so fun because like I love my pledge class, and it was like gaining a whole group of 100 friends. And I think that's the difference between my business fraternity and my sorority. So like in my sorority there's like 70 or 80 girls just in my grade, and I had like a friend group of like 10 of them. But then like with my professional fraternity, like my pledge class is just like 19-20 kids, so like I got super close with them, and like that's just your friend group within a fraternity of like 100 kids. And so that was like January for me. February of freshman year, I remember I went to, after I'd been in like pledging DSP for a bit, I remember going to a SIGEP mixer, or like they're not on campus anymore, but I remember going to one of those and like hanging out with my friend Jared, because he's in SIGEP, and then he's also like a pledge in my business frat, so like that was fun. And like that was the first time I got to see kind of like the mix between like DSP and DG, so that was cool. And then we had our Valentine's Day mixer, which was really, really fun. It was all the different business fraternities. We went to Slounge. If you go to Michigan, you know how like ratchet Slounge is. It's just always like a meme that was our V-Day mixer of our freshman year. That was a really, really fun experience. And then it was spring break, and spring break was so fun. Margot is my friend who, she's definitely been in like my vlogs if you've been watching. but she and I pledged my business fraternity at the same time in the winter, but then in the fall, she lived across the hall from me like the whole year, freshman year in Markley, but she also is in my sorority, so like we kind of joined everything at the same time together. So she came home with me to Orange County and she hung out with me. We went to the beach a lot. I just got to like introduce her to a lot of my friends. It was just a really fun experience. And then we went to USC with my friend Darian as well. And we visited my friend Gabe and Tara. We got to see all of our friends and it was a really good time. Before that, I also went to Chapman and visited my friend Sabrina. So it was just cool to like see all my college friends over spring break. And that's something that I like to do because our spring break is like a lot earlier than a lot of other schools. And then when we came back, the Friday when we came back, or the Thursday, we had our sorority day party, but I also had my stats exam, so right before it, so like I didn't take like a real like setup date. I took like a really good friend, so I went with my friend Ben Lindau and Max in DSP, and we went with Margot, and it was just really fun. Like I didn't have to like worry about my date, and I just had a good time, and I came straight from my exam, and it was so not stressful. And then after that, literally Saturday morning, we had Winterfest, and Winterfest is one of my favorite days of the year. It's when all of Greek life gets together and we raise money for autism, and I don't know, it's just a really fun time. All the sororities play sororities and all the fraternities play fraternities, and we play broom ball. It's like ice hockey, but like it's like, I don't know, it's like ice hockey, but you're wearing a hockey jersey and there's no rink. It's just, yeah, but it's like a ball. I don't know. Anyways, that's always a fun time. And that was essentially February. Actually, I think that was Winterfest and my day party might have been before spring break, like out of order, but like still February. So fast forward to March, it was our retreat for my business fraternity. All the brothers and everyone, we just like all go to this area in Michigan, which is just super fun. And we all hang out and we go away for the weekend, just like a bonding event. And I really enjoyed that. At the time, like that current president had like a house on Lake Michigan, so we got to hang out there. And like it was just a really great time to finally like bond with everyone like outside of campus. And it's like one of my like favorite memories of college, something that'll hold very close to my heart. And like obviously there's images that I'll show of like what we did. And then literally the following week, March is always like a big week or month in DSP, so we went and did our Chicago recruiting trip. Basically, like you just were assigned and took different cars, and we drive from Ann Arbor to Chicago. It takes about 4 hours. We visit like I think we visited Green Hill, McKinsey, Pepsi, and Accenture, and we just get to like network and meet people, and it's a really great time. And we spend the night in a hotel, and we go out to dinner. It's really cute. And then we come back, and so that we leave on Thursday afternoon and we come back Friday night, because all the Friday we're visiting companies, and then Saturday it was like St. Patty's Day, and obviously like the school celebrates really big. It's a college campus, so there are a bunch of parties and tailgates, and that was also when like I found out who my big was in my business fraternity, so that was really fun. And that was just like a great experience. I love March in college. I just think like it's a really fun time. And then I honestly think the rest of March was just like hanging out a lot. That was when March Madness started, and that was the year that like we did really well in basketball. So I went to a bunch of like indoor tailgates for that, and like always we went to bars to watch the games being played, or like we would go to people's houses and watch the games, and it was just super fun. And I remember like my friend Julia visited from Notre Dame, and we just had a really good time. And then fast forward to April, it's like literally the first few weeks of April. It was the championship for March Madness, and we lost to, I believe it was Villanova, I want to say. Yes, so I want to say Villanova. Why am I blanking? I don't know. But we lost, so that's probably why I didn't want to remember that. But yeah, that happened, and then honestly, the rest of April was kind of short just because we had finals in April, so I got initiated in my business fraternity, and that was great. Like finished pledging, so like all the hard work that I did paid off, and that was really great. And then after that, I think it was just finals. I ended up going to like right during finals week or like right before Louis the Child came to campus, and Margot and I went to Louis the Child concert. That was really fun. And then my BA 100 group, which like you're assigned a group for the whole entire year in Ross, we all went to our peer coach's place and she cooked us dinner, and that was just really, really cute. I remember she made like baked ziti, and it was like one of the first like really good meals that I had in college outside of like when I would go out, because I was always eating the dining hall. Dining hall's not even that bad, but like Markley's food, like it's good if you like really unhealthy food, which I'd like sometimes, but like to eat unhealthy food every day, not my favorite thing. And then we had a like formal or date party or whatever for my business fraternity, and we went to Detroit, and that was really great. Once again, took cute pictures, and I really enjoyed that just because like I've done those with my sorority, but it's a whole different thing. Like going through business fraternity, you just have fun and go out, and it's like a very good experience. And also I don't go to Detroit that much, so that was a really, really cool time. And then it was me saying bye to my roommate Rachel. She was turning 19, and it was like the day that we were moving out too, so like she and I went to Monty, Osteria, and I like bought her her food, and we made like a little cute frame. I can like kind of show you. You can see it. It's really, really cute. Can you see it? Please, please, please. Yes. Super cute. I made that, and so like she keeps that on her desk. We still keep in touch, which is really great. And then after that, okay, my phone just fell. But after that, I had finals, and I'll be honest, that semester was the worst semester that I did school-wise. It was so jam-packed. I don't know if it was like me, just all the time that it took for me to like pledge my business fraternity, if it was like that combined with like my first time taking a ton of credits. My classes were a lot harder that semester. It was like my first time taking like I think it was microeconomics. I took my first coding class. I was also in Stats 250. I also was in like a Ross class. I was in, what else did I take? I don't know what else I took, but I was in a lot of different classes. I was in like 6 classes, and it was just like a very, very, very tough balance for me. I was in a psych class too, basically all STEM classes, and I'm not that much of a STEM person. I like history and things like that, so it was a difficult time for blah blah. But anyways, I hope you guys really, really enjoyed my little freshman year in review. I'm planning on making a sophomore year in review now, just because this was really, really fun to look through my memories. If you enjoyed watching this video, give it a thumbs up. Let me know if you want to see my sophomore year review one, and I'll obviously be making a junior year one once this year is like kind of over with online classes. I don't know, but yeah, I will see you guys sooner or later. Peace out. Might have caught the June blues. Yeah, I wanna drown myself inside the juice. Yeah.